Welcome back, guys. So today, I have a very special guest with me, Steve Swetoha, president of the Greensboro Swarm. How you doing today, Steve?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. How are you, man?
Good, good. So, typically our audience is real estate agents, people within the real estate industry, and we're focused on how to raise the standards, raise the bar, be better. But one thing that I wanted to talk about today was giving back. And I couldn't think of anybody better than to bring you on, Steve, to talk about this. But first, before we get there, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, well, good morning. Good morning again, Brian. Thanks for having me. Steve Swetoha, team president for the Greensboro Swarm. You and I met, I believe, at a board meeting at Junior Achievement back in 2016, give or take. Wife Susan Shepard, daughter Sophia Abigail Shepard. Her birthday is today. She turns 19. And Matthew Swetoha, who lives in Charlotte, works for Charlotte Douglas International Airport. Have been in the sports industry my entire life. Have been here in Greensboro since 2015. Heading into our 8th season with the Greensboro Swarm, the affiliate of the Charlotte Hornets, as you know. And we love this community. And you and I have talked a lot about giving back, and I think we're both in the same boat. It's really cool to see people like you and others give back the way you do. So thank you for doing that as well.
Absolutely. So we served together at Junior Achievement, and I wanted to ask you, what does giving back mean to you?
Well, it's part of our fabric, part of my fabric, part of our family's fabric. You have to pay it forward. We believe you got to pay it forward. Mm-hmm. One day you may be there, and you're going to expect people to help you, and that's always in the back of my mind. Growing up in the city of Pittsburgh, family of 5, parents were divorced, had to work for everything that we have today. We learned a lot of lessons back in the day, and I always felt that it was going to be really important whenever I got my career started, that if it was an opportunity to give back somehow, some way, whether it be your time or your resources or your knowledge or some type of investment, it's really important. Being part of Greensboro, part of the triad, giving back to the community is really important, part of our fabric. It just feels really good to give back. And the people that you're able to help out along the way, I know deep down inside they recognize how important it is for them too, and maybe one day they'll get back on their feet as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we don't give back to get something in return, but in the same case, if we're not doing more for our community, it's not helping us. So talk to us a little bit about how giving back has helped you and helped the Greensboro Swarm as well from that standpoint.
Well, it's part of our DNA, part of our fabric, right? We just don't roll out the basketball. As you know, we both have sat on a number of boards. Recently coming off of the chairmanship of Junior Achievement that you served on many years ago. It's really important. You just can't go and meet with people and try to sell them something. You've got to build their trust. You've got to earn their trust. A big part of what we do, and it's no different than Hornet Sports and Entertainment, is there's so many employees that give back because it's really important for the community. You just can't just walk in, roll the basketball out, and assume that people are going to support you. People notice that. People see that. It has to happen organically, and you've got to feel that. You've got to be passionate about it as well. So part of our opportunity to come into this market is not only to give back, but to really be involved. We have summer hours from Memorial Day until Labor Day. We ask each employee to do at least 8 hours of community service, just in the summertime. Mm-hmm. Well, we just found a report last week that the average was about 12 and a half hours within Memorial Day to Labor Day. And it's something that our organization and our team members really enjoy giving back. It's something that they are passionate about, whether it be animal shelter, whether it be Junior Achievement, cleaning up Junior Achievement's house in Greensboro. It's just really important. We believe that it's something that you have to do. and we want to do, because this community needs support in so many ways.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you about some examples that y'all have done, and you mentioned some there, but I do want to take a second and kind of hit a little bit on that is near and dear to both of our hearts, junior achievement, and the way they give back and how they give back to the community in the form of financial literacy in the schools. Can you tell us about your experience with them and what you've done to really help with them and give back in that way?
Well, as you know, prior to pre-pandemic, we were serving 15, 20,000 students. And the most important thing, as you know, with that organization, it's how do we impact our students? This year, I think we impacted close to 10,000 students coming out of post-pandemic. Financial literacy is really, really important. 3, 4, 5th, 6th, 7th-year-old, 8-year-old, 8 grades, 9 through 12, so to speak. Not many people, this is the only organization that you can go into a school, a middle school, elementary, and help teach financial literacy. You've done it. We've done it. As a matter of fact, our team is heading to a school here in the next week or so. Again, an hour of their time. If we can impact one student, if there's 30 students in that class, we can impact one student that 5, 6 years from now, he or she may end up going to a great high school and then going on to a great college. Maybe that may have been an impact for he or she. Plus, it's also, you're seeing someone different. Mm-hmm. And, when you come in and you say you work for a basketball team, it sort of, the students sometimes who have a sports background maybe look at that a little bit differently, right?
Yeah.
I get the question all the time, Michael Jordan? You work for Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
But it's really impactful. This organization continues to grow. Grace Thompson, who is now the president and CEO of Junior Achievement, she started last February. They have done great things, and it's all about impacting and touching, impacting as many kids as we possibly can.
Right. I'll never forget one of the times that I served in the classroom, and there was one kid who basically had his head down the whole time. This school was in a lower income area, Winston-Salem area, and had his head down the whole time. You could tell he really just didn't pay attention, and probably never paid attention or didn't much in class anyway. And we were talking about jobs. I want to say this was like 3rd, 4th grade or whatnot. And I went up to him and I tapped on him, and he lifted up, and I said, well, "What do you want to do when you grow up, when you get older?" He said, "I want to be a fireman." And after that, we talked quite a bit about that. And that kid rose up in his desk, and his eyes were wide, and he was really like engaged in the conversation afterwards. And it was like, man, and like you said, if you can impact one person, I believe that kid was impacted that day because someone asked him, "Hey, what do you want to do when you get older? Let's talk about that."
There's no question. It'll be interesting to see, moving forward, it's, students now have changed a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. But more importantly, going into the classroom, first of all, giving a teacher an hour break, number one. Number two, they get us to hear and see a different individual, different face. And you're absolutely right. You sort of look to those students that you might be seeing, they may be having a tough day, and asking them one question, or saying something funny, or talking about something they may have interest in, is really unique and cool in a way that we can make that student's day. And hopefully he or she goes home and may have that conversation with a brother or sister, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa. But, nonprofit in general is just really important for our community, because whether it be financial literacy or whether it be trying to overcome poverty and hunger, it's really important. And if we're not doing that, we will continue to, we'll struggle as a community. But there's so many good organizations in this market and in this region that continue to give back to not only organizations like Junior Achievement, but hundreds of nonprofits around the country.
Right. So, all right. So you run a a pretty good-sized sports entertainment group here in Greensboro. But let's say I'm just a single real estate agent and I want to make a difference. And I'm coming to Steve and saying, Steve, point me in the right direction. Where do I go? How can I give back? How can I make a difference?
Well, really good question. As you and I've talked about, it's all about building relationships and building that network. So we would hope that we'd understand your objectives, what you're trying to accomplish in the community. Sports marketing is a really great, unique opportunity to reach different segments. We are out in the community. We take our players to help clean up a certain part of the neighborhood. We will be taking our team to Academy Sports this December with 40 kids to give back around the holidays. Families that may not have a lot around the holiday time, where we'll give them a certain dollar amount, and our players will go shop with these kids, 40 of them. Mm-hmm. And great opportunity with Academy Sports. The YMCA is a big partner through this program as well. But it's making a difference, right? So you ask the question, we'd have to understand what your objectives are. What are you trying to reach? Is there a specific passion or unique skill set that your team has? How do you want to go about that? What are you trying to accomplish? Can we do that together? Sometimes it may not work or make any sense, but athletes walking into a classroom will get a different impression or be utilized differently than someone like you and I going in. Mm-hmm. These athletes are looked at as someone who, man, they've had a really successful life, and how can I be like that? And we have some really good athletes on our team that figure it out, get it, and can make a difference in our community.
Yeah, they make great role models, especially for the kids that are out there, that look up to these athletes. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I'm part of a Rotary group. I believe you're part of a Rotary group. Civic organizations and giving back. This is a great way for like a single real estate agent or a team to get involved in the community. Can you tell us about the impact Rotary has had on you, and then you giving back into the community through them?
So Gate City Rotary is where I belong. Every Thursday, 7 a.m., mm-hmm. Dr. Guy Rabondo, Friendly Dentistry, who is our team dentist, got me hooked a few years ago. And, as well as I do, we get pulled in different directions. Hey, join my club, join my club. But, Rotary, it's just a great service organization. Mm-hmm. We talk about giving back. In August, our group went to help out school, collect school supplies at Target on Lawndale. We're always raising money. I know you were part of Rotary Club, I believe, out at the airport, yep. Right?
Yeah, airport Tuesday, 7 a.m. I'm going to give them a plug as well.
There you go. Perfect. It's just, I joined it because of opportunity to network, mm-hmm. but I've gained so much about the service aspect of so many things that they do, which I had no idea. It's, polio is where Rotary focuses on, and we've made huge strides, but scholarships and the amount of time and volunteer work that this group gives back to the community, I had no idea. Mm-hmm. And I think we're putting a roof on a house here in the next week or two. And we're asked to serve there as well. So as you and I both know, not just our regular jobs we're servicing, but these nonprofit organizations that we're giving back to the community, it makes me feel really good. It centers me every week or every opportunity I have to give back to the community, because we are fortunate to some degree. And, how can we make other lives better?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that, it centers you, because part of a Bible study that we've been involved in, they mentioned yesterday, when you live a life of service, when you live a servant life, you also live a humble life. And to be able to say that, it's peace. It gives you peace. But yeah, there's so much we can be doing to give back to our community. I just want to thank you, Steve, for how much you do for our community. Our community would not be what it is today without someone like you. So I appreciate you. We appreciate you. If there's one last thing you could leave for our listeners about giving back, what would it be?
You mentioned the word humble. Not everyone has what you and I may have or others may have today or tomorrow or the next day. Think about a way to give back that meets your expectations from a passionate perspective, and just if it's once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year, it doesn't have to be monetary. It could be volunteering somewhere. It makes you, it humbles you in a way, but as I said, it really centers me to a point where don't forget where you came from, and don't forget that there are a lot of people out there that could use your help. Because someday you may need their help, and that always sits at the back of my mind. So it's a great opportunity to give back, great opportunity to meet different people, and to find a way to impact lives.
Great wisdom. Great wisdom. We're going to end it right there, man. I appreciate you being on today, and if y'all want to reach out to us looking for any kind of maybe volunteering opportunities or some way to give back, reach out to us through our social media platforms. We'd love to help you out from that standpoint. But until next time,